But I felt good to be out there, out of the red jersey today, hitting again. It felt good.
What's it like to get named captain again? I know it meant a lot to you when it first happened, and then to be thought of that way with this team.
Yeah, it's truly an honor, man. To think to think about where my career started, and just where I'm at now. To be named the captain for the third year in a row on this football team with these group of guys, it's truly an honor. Really hard to put into words of how I feel, but with that comes a lot of responsibility that I'm ready to take on, and I know the other guys that are named captains are ready to take that on too, and even there's some guys on this team that probably could have been or should have been named captains that didn't, but we had a really good group of leaders on this football team, and so just because some guys didn't get named captain, doesn't mean they aren't a leader on this football team.
When you're named the captain, is there a specific expectation? Does anybody say anything, or is it just you be who you are because you may be different than the way Micah does it or somebody else does it?
Yeah, I think just being who you are, really, that's why people voted you as a captain. Guy, just because you have the C on your chest doesn't mean you got to change who you are or what you do or anything like that. So, but understanding that does come with responsibility, and it does give you, when things aren't going well, you're the one expected to get guys going and get things back in order. So, like I said, it does come with a lot of responsibility, but I'm definitely truly honored to take that responsibility.
Whenever we talk to any of the young defensive backs about their time so far since training camp started, they usually mention you, Micah, has been so important to this. When you look at Kyer throughout this whole process now on the precipice of the start of the season, how ready is he? How much has he improved over the course of this year?
Yeah, he's for sure improved. I mean, just coming from his college system and being able to come here and learn the technique and learn the defense, because it's not easy, especially as a first round rookie, coming in and getting thrown in the fire. But he's been able to go against guys like Gabe and Diggs and Isaiah throughout training camp. You're not going to see, probably a better core group of receivers than that. And so his ability to pick up the playbook, and he's asking all the right questions, and he's ready to play, and he's somebody that I can trust going into the football game and being able to, and all those guys are, him, CB, Dane, all those guys are truly ready to play, and guys that I trust in the game, being able to get them to call and them understanding what to do.
Sean McVay's offense is, pretty famous now, and now everybody's copying it.
Hmm.
In Miami now, run a version of it, and Minnesota, and over and over. Just kind of what do you think? What stands out?
Yeah, I mean, a very good offense with really good with really good players. Obviously, a team coming off of a Super Bowl victory, and like I said, they got some really good players. Obviously, Cooper Cup and Stafford. Those two have really good connection, and just being able to have awareness of where 10 is at all the time on the football field. But I mean, they do a lot of really good things. Under center in the gun, in their empty packages, they do some really good things that keep you balanced. And so for us, just being able to do what we do well, being able to tackle, have our eyes in the right places, and when the opportunity presents itself, being able to make plays and come up with some takeaways for our offense. And so a really good offense against a really good defense. So it's gonna be a fun night.
And they already faced it, in 2020, and obviously, like, starts outside zone. If you're giving up ground there, then lots of other bad things just
Yeah, I
happen.
mean everything starts with the run game. Obviously once if you get the run game established, they're able to do open up the playbook a lot more with the play action and taking shots down the field. So, in any game that you come into, you want to stop the run. Make them one dimensional. That's not this game. That's any game you come into. So, understanding that we got to be able to stop their run game, and force them to get in a drop back game. And like I said, when the opportunities present itself, we got to make plays on the ball.
They
What
added.
fundamentals have you been spending so much time here to get ready for them? And also now in week one, you're going to go in doing things a little differently. So what's that like for you?
Yeah, I think just leaning back on your technique and fundamentals and trusting the defense that's called and trusting, you doing your 111th is plenty good enough. Obviously they're going to come with some things we probably hadn't seen on tape, but that just comes down to, technique and fundamentals, and then being able to go, tackle the football and being able to come to the sideline, making the adjustments, the right adjustments that we're supposed to make, and move on. There's going to be, that's in any game really. There's going to be adjustments that you got to make within the game, and whoever makes the right adjustments, and the right corrections, usually the one that comes out on top in the end.
Jordan, you've been complimentary, mic'd up
we got to get him the ball any way we can, man. Get him the ball, get him short field. Um, any way we can, we got to get him the ball. Best quarterback in the league. And that's a weapon for us as a defensive player. Like, get 17 the ball back, and that's how I see it.
A lot of attention gets paid to Cooper Kupp and Allen Robinson.
Hmm.
How important is it on the defensive side of the ball? Make sure that you guys
Right.
right.
Right, really good player, really good guy. Trained with him in the off season down at Pete's, and really good football player. And he is somebody that you can't just have your whole focus on Cooper Kupp, because he is somebody that can he's a really good receiver in this league, and he's been a really good receiver in this league. So how they're going to use him, we'll see. But at the same time, like you said, you can't just fall asleep. You can't just be looking at Kupp over here and falling asleep over here. Because they got some really good players on that side of the football.
With the rookies at corner, I would think they feel prepared, but it would seem to me, you've been through it all, you've been where you make a lot of good plays, but then there's ones that don't go your way, and dealing with that in the middle of the game. Is that something they need to be aware of? Because it can happen quick, and then you got to come back right.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole game of football, right? You go into a game, nothing's ever going to be perfect. There's going to be mistakes out there. There's going to be things that happen, and you being able to move on to the next play is just as important. You being able to, whether we call it flush it or whatever you want to call it, because the next play is just as important. So it took me a long time to kind of to think that way, but especially at corner too, because you're gonna get tested. There's gonna be balls caught on you. You gotta have a short fuse, a short time, and forget about it. Move on to the next play, because that plays, just as important. So, we're trying to preach that to those young guys that, like, hey, somebody catches a hitch on you, congratulations. Somebody catches ball on you, look, line up again, we'll play again. So we have philosophies within our defense. That everybody understands, and if as long as you're playing within that philosophy, there should be no issues.
You said reaching out to the younger guys also. It took you a while to figure that, like, is it something that you just hear and adjust to, or do they have to, like?
I think it's something that you got to experience. For me, obviously, I didn't play much as a younger guy, so a lot on special teams, and you're not really getting in the mix of a real game. But once I was able to get in the mix of a real game and see, how, you could be having a good game and one play goes wrong, and now you're 10 plays in and you're still thinking about that one play. Like, a lot of, as a young guy, like, that happens a lot. As I got older, you start to realize, like, hey man, like, that play is over with. You can't do nothing with that play now. Like, we got to move on and get to the next play right here. So I think that definitely comes with experience, especially like I said, at that corner position, because that's one of the harder positions to play on the field, especially in the NFL. You're going to get tested as a rookie. That's it. Thanks, guys.